So, there's a group photo. Yay! Visit us on Slack, DrupalCorn on drupal.slack.com. Drupal's users group. You can go to it online. All right. Upcoming events. The Diversity and Inclusion Initiative is having a Learn How to Hold Your Own Speaker Diversity Workshop to be able to recruit underrepresented people to come up and speak at conferences like this. It's a really good initiative, and we'd like to invite more people to share their experiences and knowledge. So if you're interested in helping people come into the community and share their knowledge, that's an online workshop on November 16th. DrupalCon Minneapolis, yay, they're coming to Minneapolis. If you haven't registered already, what, is early bird done yet? Or
2 weeks left.
2 weeks left on early bird?
22nd is closing of early bird.
Okay. So yeah, events.drupal.org/Minneapolis.
And I think there's a few weeks left to submit sessions.
Is that still open?
Yeah, get your session submissions in.
By early December, yeah.
Okay. Other camps coming up. We got Ned Camp. What is that? Northeast?
Yeah.
New England.
New England Drupal Camp. That's 22nd, 23rd. So that's coming up real quick. New Jersey, January 31st. Florida Drupal Camp in February. You can go down to Florida and get away from this cold weather. Mid Camp is coming up to next year in the spring. What is that? St. Patrick's Day?
I thought it was starting the 17th, which would be St. Patrick's Day, or is
It's
it?
the 18th.
It is.
Right after. But it is O-Mid Camp.
It's O-Mid Camp.
Year St. Patrick's Day.
So definitely places to check out. Cornhole tournament, in case you haven't heard. The best team name was Cornhole by the citizens. Cornhole, yes. I read that wrong every
Cornhole, that
time.
would have been lame.
I was like, that's very creative. And the winner of the tournament, Matt Cheney, Katie Richards. Good job. Such a really good skill. We've got a drawing for Drupalize Me subscriptions. So if you were registered on Eventbrite, we've got your name in the list, and you can do a drawing real quick. Does somebody have a piece of paper so we can write down the results? So you don't need to be present to win. If you're here, great. We'll get you that information. Otherwise, I'll send them an email. There are quite a few people here who probably already have a subscription. So if they're not here and they don't want it, we're going to choose a few names. But we only have 2. All right. Does the Zoom work? There we go.
Oh no, it's gone.
Wait. Oh no, he's gone. He left yesterday. So who's writing it down?
I am.
All right. Okay, good. All right, who's the next name?
He does not need it.
Jay Becker? You here? You here?
I have access on work, so.
You want to decline and give it to somebody else?
Sure.
All right, let's try it.
It's very dramatic.
It's true.
Katie.
I also.
See, this is what I thought was going to happen. Keep going. Tim Riggers? Are you here? No?
He's not here, so he can't decline.
All right.
Yay. All right, so if he declines, we're going to do like 2 more, and we'll see. But if you're here, you're like, oh man. Gary?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, that's the University of Iowa people. Okay. Shane Thomas?
I'll decline. Shoes.
Les?
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the runner-up in case, who was the other person?
Jim Richards, Gary Ridgway, and we had Yvonne Stegic at the very beginning.
Okay. All right. Congratulations to our winners, whoever they may be. All right. We're in a new venue this year. We want to try and keep the same venue every year, so we really need your feedback on what went well, what could be improved. So DrupalCorn.org/feedback survey. You'll probably get an email later today reminding you about a lot of this stuff to help us, improve ourselves and do better next time. All right, so that's kind of all the formal stuff. If you're interested in, what the camp has done, have questions about how the camp is run, we're here to answer any questions or have discussions about how things work. Or if you want to go home now, that's fine too. I won't be offended.
We will be.
Yeah, we're going to be offended.
You're going to be offended?
Don't be judgmental.
Did you like the shortened format, putting contrib day and training together, so it's 3 days instead of 4? And weekdays instead of spread over the weekend?
Like weekdays.
I like 3 days. Whatever those 3 days would be.
Whatever those 3 days may be.
I like it being during the week.
I don't. But I understand, and I can live with it.
I know a lot of people were kind of frustrated with the Wi-Fi, keep asking you to join up again.
Yeah.
How big of a problem is that, or is that
Minor irritation.
just
An annoyance, but.
It's like a mosquito level annoyance. Good description.
a good description? Okay. I don't know if we can talk to the library, see how that system works, and maybe we could,
The AV system had some challenges.
the AV system with the separating the rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some feedback for the venue.
John, what time of year in the future are you going to stick with November?
I don't think we want to stay in November. I think we want to try, September, October-ish. So it's not quite so cold, and it's also not quite so hot.
It was late this year because we struggled to find a thing.
Yeah,
Because our venue last year got sold.
yeah. Or got put on the market.
Very good.
Yeah. Also, a big problem we had this year was we had a very small starting budget of $200. $170. So we had to find a place that would, allow us to reserve the space and not really have to have a deposit. But I think this worked out really well. For the price we paid, it's great.
I think the downtown footprint of the hotel and the library and the parties were all really nice.
How was parking for everyone?
I thought parking was awesome. I thought it was going to be horrible in a way, because I've lived down here. I actually used to live right down by Ritual Cafe, and so I thought, oh my goodness, where am I going to park? But it has been awesome, phenomenal, and there's so many places you can just pull into the street too. So I found it to be great, and I was going back and forth every day.
Did you find free places on the street?
No, they weren't free, but.
I think like last time we went to the party, and we could only stay for whatever the change that I had in my pocket would allow me to stay. Because we left the garage and went to where they came back, and 9 to 9 was like the longest window of time I've ever seen for a parking meter. So then I asked around the party, nobody had changed. And we're like, well, we have 35 minutes, so and then we left. So
Yeah, it's frustrating because that just recently changed.
oh, really?
It used to cut off at 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's
and they extended it to 9 p.m.
Yeah, I think there's free parking like several blocks away, but in the cold, that's really, really tough.
Sponsor idea, somebody can sponsor parking.
Sponsor.
Yeah. I have more quarters.
Taking notes.
Yeah, and the meters like out here accept credit cards, but you have, it's a 4-hour limit, so that's kind of, you really can't park there, so it's like you're looking at the 9th and Locust ramp as the closest.
Which I still thought was convenient. I parked on the 9th and Locust Ramp, and it was right in the middle between the hotel and here, and a couple times we used the skywalk to go between it. And once I figured out how to get it from here to the ramp is easy, it's skywalk. Get it from the ramp to the hotel was a little bit of the anchor and turn.
Yeah, that's nice that it's only a block away.
How would you feel in regards to safety? Like at night, like with the party and everything, was it like pretty normal?
Here's the
Yep.
Yeah. So, especially like during the week. I just was curious. 'Cause I'm like,
They had the security guard there, so I felt.
Yeah, I was a little intimidated when I walked in, some guy in a suit was like, "Hello, sir." It's like, am I in the right place? I got a pass. Did people enjoy the party at Principal? Yeah?
Kid of ours, they lots wood mesh again.
Wood Michigan.
Yeah.
Anybody have any comments on the BOF format?
Dedicated BOF time?
That was good, I like that.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you think people understood what BOFs are and kind of how to participate in them, or is that we need to have more education for people who are not familiar with, kind of Drupal community sort of isms?
I think it's worth at the opening session talking about it, making sure you would reiterate, but I think most people understood.
Yeah, I kind of touched on it, but, trying to be like brief so that we can get to the keynote, but, I don't want to spend 10 minutes talking about BOFs.
I liked it. I had the sense, though, that a lot of people were participating. I mean, for those that did participate, I think it was great, but they were small, which is okay, but I just wonder if that meant a lot of people just kind of sat alone.
Yeah, or whether they were just,
Yeah,
this is an opportunity I can get some work done because I need to get this project going or whatever.
which is also okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are here and also working remotely because they can't do stuff. Is that something that needs to be considered also? Like, we did try to have like 15 minutes between sessions, like just to make it so it's not so stressful trying to get around to different places and allowing people to have a few minutes to absorb things. Does that work out really good, or does it feel like it just stretched everything out too long, or?
If you can find a CMS that's easy to use, you might consider being able to sign up online or put the sessions online, so you don't have to be here to see what BOFs are going to be.
There's A+ shade through there, actually.
So okay, maybe a Google Doc. Yeah, we just need development time.
Back to the BOFs, being a speaker, I always wait to see a really good speaker that says, hey, I have a BOF and we're going to continue the conversation over here, and I was like, why don't they do that? So maybe in communications with speakers, to say, hey, we have a BOF format. I know there's things that I was trying to just cram into my presentation, but it's liberating if there's a BOF and we can have that discussion there.
Yeah, I did that with the module thing, because I'm like, I got more modules I want to share. And so I put it up on the board.
But as a speaker, I always too late. I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
also
think-
as a way to fill up the BOFs.
Yeah.
It's a format for
I've seen that at the Twin Cities camp before.
idea.
So encourage speakers to propose a after BOF, unless you're the last session for the day.
Right after we get some lunch.
That's some good ideas.
Well, and that's the other thing, that having the BOFs bookended with lunch seem logical.
Yeah.
You get something to eat, or maybe,
Yeah.
would it be good to have BOFs during lunch, like having discussions? Because then, like, I guess people are eating and stuff, and it's hard to
I
talk.
think you could, but then you'd have another slot of time to fill with sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be challenging. There's a reason I haven't speaking, right?
You could shorten the lunch maybe and just do like a half-hour lunch leading into the box, but
You think half hour would be good for lunch?
Yeah, 30, 40 minutes.
If you are catered,
Yeah.
half hour's plenty.
Yeah. We always want to try and bring food into the venue so that people don't disperse out.
Right.
Because that takes a long time, and then people kind of just go with their own niches.
I think given the venue and with the BOFs afterwards, a shorter lunch would work because people, you know.
Yeah, and if you're not quite done, you can,
Together.
if you're not quite done, you can, bring your food with you. That would work too. Yeah.
And you'd have a longer nap time between the evening events,
Longer nap time?
between the day and the evening events.
We had a nap time, yeah. I said, yeah, Brian, you got a nap time?
I did.
Yeah.
Right down here.
Yeah. So was that inconvenient, or is that okay to have? I mean, we were done at like, what time were we done yesterday? I can't remember.
About 4:45.
4:45 and then 5:30 for the event. Is that? That was fine. Okay. And nobody actually tried to go to the event. It was like shivering there waiting to come in because they had the doors locked.
I think one person,
kicked us out.
I think one person who said he worked for a principal couldn't quite get in. He was there a little early, but they let him stand in the entryway, so it was okay.
One person from principal couldn't get into principal
Couldn't get into principal.
because it was a private party. Not principal.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it was fine.
I know you could deal with the t-shirts here, but I didn't end up getting one because I couldn't get any cash because of our experience last night. And and I can't buy one today, so I didn't end up getting it. I don't know how. what else to do.
Yeah, sales are down really hard on t-shirts. In order to get the best rate here, I forget how much it saved us to have the nonprofit
Probably
rate.
$1,500.
$1,500 out of, we got it for $1,800. It's so cheap.
Can you sell the t-shirts online and pick them up and come? Does that count as sales?
I think we can get away with that.
That might be not.
Because then they're just distributed. Yeah, some in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
you actually have the right sizes of shirts as well, so you don't have,
yeah.
hopefully that.
The issue this year was that, after starting with $175 to start the thing, we didn't have the funds to buy t-shirts ahead of time, and then you have to have the lead time too on t-shirts, because it takes like a week or two to put the order in, bring them in, and that's when like, everybody registers.
Right.
It's like the last 2 weeks, so it's very hard to.
Could you just put a disclaimer on there that if you register in the last few weeks, it's possible you might not have your size and refund
Or
it.
do they just still pick them up at the party? It just gives you an option, maybe beforehand.
Yeah, I guess you can still buy them at the party. But
Or see if your hotel has a rate.
they sell them at the hotel.
We'll be going into next year with a lot better budget, so.
Yeah,
Lots
so-
of paper cushions, so we should be able to have shirts lined up, whether it's just the current ones we have or we do a new design.
Yeah, and we might, if we're organized and not burned out enough already, I want to try and maybe do a short-term online sale for shirts. But being a nonprofit, we can't really be like a clothing company that sells shirts all the time. So there's some legal hurdles around that. But short-term sales are okay. How'd you guys like the toys in your lunches? Too much?
Still playing with your duck?
He was.
Any comments about sessions? Was it a
You had a really solid schedule.
good selection of sessions worthwhile coming to that?
I did sit next to one person who was like brand new to Drupal, and she was like, I was like, oh, are you a leader? Because it's a session. She's like, no, but I have no idea what I should go to. So I was like, oh, maybe tell them you want some more beginner sessions.
Yeah, that's hard. That's always the hardest.
Well, and that's the other thing. If we know we're coming back here, we can get the venue earlier, we can set our date earlier, we can get the information out earlier, and hopefully get more sessions.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to see more sessions that are a little more advanced as well. Because I did get like feedback from people who've been around this for a while, saying that there wasn't really sessions that they saw that would be like advanced, you know, to the level of like either something they'd already heard or you know. So it's hard for this type of camp to have like, because you really, you know, want to have sessions for beginners. So it's really difficult because you don't want to straddle that too far either. So I don't really know. That's just feedback I got from outsiders that weren't, you know, looking at the schedule and were trying to determine whether or not to come. That was their determining factor.
That's a real problem. I think in Twin Cities we've settled down. We err on the side of beginners over advanced.
Yeah.
We want to be balanced as much as possible.
Yeah, and you know, we can't choose the sessions really too much. It just depends on what people are submitting. But we can try and encourage and come up with ideas on what people would do. Recruit new people to come and speak. How do you call for presentations? Is where do you go? Where do you get people who maybe even not even in a Drupal community who can talk about something relevant? Just via.
Is there an unofficial after party? After.
I don't think so.
Anybody want to have dinner tonight? That's
Yeah. I'd be up for going for dinner after we get cleaned up here.
What do you need help with to get everything wrapped up? Or more hands that would be helpful?
We're just organize the stuff and put them back in boxes. Power cables.
Yeah, I can lift things.
Any final thoughts?
We should have one last opportunity to thank all of you
Yes.
for doing what you did to bring us here
Yes.
Thank you.
this weekend.
Thank you all for coming and presenting and doing training and doing, being awesome Drupal people. Even if you're brand new to Drupal.